Hey everybody, welcome out to VTK 202. This is a required course for troop leaders and assistant leaders. We're going to go over we're going to cover a lot of the aspects of the Volunteer ToolKit. We're not going to go real deep into any one of them, but we'll show you how to get into it, who all has access, all that kind of stuff, as well as a few content points, but overall, it's just going to be an overview more than anything. So here we go. We're going to start by logging into the website, which is bdgsc.org. I don't know why that volunteers is up there. There we go. So you go to bdgsc.org and then you click on mygs/VTK login over on the right hand side, and if you're on a phone it's going to be on the right side in a little drop down box. Click on that and then go to Volunteer ToolKit, and it's going to let you into there eventually. There we go. And it brings up your username and password. Your username is going to be the email that you use to fill out your registration with. If you don't know your username, then you can contact customer care at 304-345-7722 or email them at customercare@bdgsc.org, and they will be able to help you with your username. Now if you forget your password, then you can click on forgot your password and it'll walk you through the steps to recover your password. Yeah, so that's easy enough. You can do it yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and put my password in here, and I keep it stored so that I don't have to remember it, because I never remember it. And then I click login. And if you guys have any questions along the way or anything, you can ask in the question log, or you can catch me afterwards. Alright, so there's an announcement on here. New cadet badges have been launched in the VTK. Yay, that makes me happy. So I knew this was coming. I wasn't sure exactly when, but the new cadet badges are in the VTK, apparently, because it says they're in the VTK. So I'm going to click out of that and go into Volunteer ToolKit. Alright, so now we have the option to look at all the different tabs that are across the top, but we can also pick different troops. If we happen to be the troop leader of several different troops, we can click on this little drop down and we can pick which troop we want to select. I'm going to start with my Daisy troop, and it's not in the right format, but it's a test troop, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, it's set for Daisy level. Now it automatically takes you to the Explorer tab, but we're going to skip that for right now. We're just going to go to My Troop, which is the far left hand side. And when you go down to My Troop, this tells you everything about your personal troop. Okay, this is not going to be service unit or anything else. It is just whichever troop that you picked in this drop down is going to be right there. So this one doesn't have anything in it. You can see an example of a volunteer right here with the name, email, phone number, all that good stuff. If there was a girl in it, it would be the same way. And I don't think I have any test troops with girls in them, but let me take a look here real quick to see. Come on. Yeah, I don't. Okay, but anyway, if you had girls in your troop, they would show up right here in this test info. Let me switch back to my Daisy troop. Okay, so from this My Troop tab, you can add or change a picture of your troop. You can remove the photo if you don't want to. You can email however many contacts are in your troop, so everybody that was listed here would you be able to email them. If you're using Outlook, there's a little trick you got to use. You got to check that little box to do that. And also, if you have Outlook on your computer but you don't want to use Outlook, You have to set your default email provider as Yahoo or Gmail or whatever, or it will automatically use Outlook, which is weird, but it's one of those quirky little things. And then you have the volunteers down here, and you'll be able to see how long they've been a member, their role, if they were a troop leader or whatever, it would say that there. You can see if their membership is active, and you can also see their address and all that kind of stuff. You can update their information as well from here. And you can also add a new volunteer. If you're looking to add a new volunteer, you can do it from right there. Alright, you can also print your rosters from the little print icon, or you can download it from the download icon. So that is pretty much all of that tab. So we're going to move on over to the Explore tab. So the Explore tab is, like I said, whenever you go to your troop, this is the first one that comes up. And the reason they do that is because they want you to make that your focus, the year plan, getting all that set up. So the Explore tab is where you're going to explore what you want to do for the next year, or the current year. So you have two options to start with. The first is that you can start adding the petals, badges, or journeys through a custom year plan, and it just says select your own, and you pick that, and it asks you if you want the custom year plan, and you say yes you do or no you don't. The custom year plan, you actually have to go through and pick every single meeting plan that you want to have. The other option is the pre-selected tracks. So on the right here, if you're not sure what you want to do and you want to just kind of pick some that are based on the same things, you can pick that. You just click on pre-selected tracks, and a drop down comes down, and you can pick the petals, leaves, and badges tracks for daisies. Each of the different levels will have different badges, of course, but I'm on daisies, so everything is focused on daisies. So here you can do daisy petals and leaves, daisy badge year 1, badge year 2, and then it tells you that during the petals you have 10 petals, 2 leaves, and 1 award, and during badge year 1 you have 5 badges, 2 leaves, and 15 meetings. Same way with badge year 2. Okay. And we also have the journeys, and for some reason I lost audio. Hope it's still going. Yep, okay. Alright, so in the journeys we have all of the different journeys that are available for whatever grade level your troop is. So all of these journeys are available for daisies. And we have the new outdoor journeys and the STEM outdoor journeys as well. Those are my personal favorites. Alright, so we just pick one because, I don't really know what we want to do, but if you want to talk to your girls, this is a great way to allow them to help you and to make their troop girl-led. They give you input as to which track they want to go down. We'll look at the custom track here in a minute, but for now we're just going to start with the outdoor journeys. So we're going to preview it, and when you click on that preview, it automatically brings up all of the meetings that are in that outdoor journey. It talks about the meeting, the outdoor art maker, buddy camper, take action project, and then the closing celebration. So you have 10 meetings already populated. We'll look at each one of them individually here in a minute. But for now, this just gives you an overview of what these 10 meetings are going to be like. So you can look at a couple of different ones. If you go back to the pre-selected tracks, scroll down. So maybe I want to look at the STEM outdoor Think Like a Citizen Scientist. So I look down through it, and it looks like the same basic kind of thing. Daisy intro, jump into journeys, and then 2 parts of the first badge, or the first 2, 4 parts I guess. 4 parts of the first badge, and then there are all 6 of them. Oh, look at that. Okay, so you have to do all 6 of them. And then the closing celebration. Okay, so this one looks good. We're going to click select, and it'll verify that you want to select that one. And Siri thinks I'm talking to her for some odd reason. Okay, so this is the one we were going to go with, so I select yes, select, and then it takes me back into the next tab over, which is the year plan. So this is where you're going to keep track of your whole year, all of your meeting plans. You're going to add in events, all kinds of stuff on here. Okay, so it automatically puts them in the order that they were in the journey, or the year plan. So we may want to decide that, hey, we want to do part 6 for some odd reason as the 4th one. Or the 4th meeting. So now we have the 4th meeting as part 6. Don't know why you would want to do that, but you can do it if you want to. Alright, so you can move them around however you want to. You just click and drag. And then up here at the top, it refreshes every time. There we go. So if we want to actually put a date with the meetings, we can go up to Manage Calendar. And then we can look at which dates we want to avoid. Like we don't want to have a troop meeting on the 4th of July, or we don't want to have Veterans Day, New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Columbus Day, whatever. So if you do want to have it, you would just uncheck the little checkbox. But if you don't want to have a meeting, then you leave those checked on there. So you would put your start date. So we're going to start the 18th. Our first meeting is the 18th at 4:00 p.m. and we're going to go every other week. Okay, and then we're going to click Update Calendar. And it tells me it ends June 30th. The date you selected will result in 7 meetings. So we'll only get 7 meetings in at that point. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to Friday so that we can get all of our meetings in by June 30th, because the Volunteer ToolKit will refresh itself after June 30th. So we want to make sure we get them in before June 30th. So we're doing this a little late in the year. You would have already had this up and running for this year, but for next year, you're good to go. So we've got all of our meetings in there. It put the date of the meeting and went all the way down. Now if we click and drag, it's going to change it from March 22nd to April 5th. Jump into Journeys. Okay, and it tells you the order that the meetings are in, and it also shows you the level and what badges that they're working on. Okay, now if we decide we want to add in another badge or journey, we can click on Add Badge or Journey at the top, and notice this language has changed. It used to say, I don't even know what it said, something about dates and schedule or something, but it's a little bit more clear now as to what you can do with it. Alright, so if we want to add a badge or pedal badge or journey, then we're just gonna, if we know the name of it, we can type it in there, or we can use the filters. And we know we're a Daisy troop, and we want to do, let's do an award earning meeting. Then we're going to view the list, and we look down and we can do the My Promise, My Faith, or the Take Action 1 or Take Action 2. So I like this one, so we're going to do My Promise, My Faith, and we're going to add it to our year plan. We're going to select it and then add it to our year plan. And it's going to add it to the bottom, so then we can rearrange it to wherever we want. So we're going to do it in the middle of our year. And there it is. So we can print our year plan, or we can download it. We can download the calendar, and we can also get some help if we need help from right here. Okay, if we need to add an activity, we click on Add Activity. Imagine that. So our activity name, let's say we're going to take a hike. Yay! at the local park. The cost is free. Location, address, I don't know, just make up something. So we're going to take it on the 18th at 4 to 6. And then we're going to add activity. Oh, it's going to make us do the address. 321 Virginia Street West, Charleston, West Virginia. And we're going to take a hike. Alright, so we're going to add that activity. And then it automatically adds it in as a color-coded blue activity. And you can't drag and drop that one, but you can go into it and change it. If you click on it, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, there we go. Click on the title and then edit activity. Alright, so no dragging and dropping, but you click on the title, you can edit it from there. Alright, so that's everything on this screen. You can also take a guided tour if you would like. And you can search to add meetings if you would like to from here at the bottom. And our customer care numbers are down here at the bottom, emails, all that kind of stuff if you ever need them. Alright, so that's My Troop, Explore, and Year Plan. So now we're going to look at the Meeting Plan tab. So let's go to the My Faith, My Promise and click on it. And when you click on it, it automatically changes you over to the Meeting Plan tab. Okay. And then we're going to scroll down and we can go to our year plan if we need to by clicking here. We can replace this meeting or we can delete it. We can also print from here. Okay, at the top of it, it tells us what the meeting is, when it is, and then it gives you a summary of what's going to happen. So the girls choose one line from the Girl Scout Law and they earn their why can I not say that? My Promise, My Faith pin. And the category is Faith Pin. Okay, and then there's 3 different resources right here under planning materials. Each one of these you will have to open up in a different window in order to print them. Let me blow it up a little bit for you. Alright, so meeting overview, if you click on that, it'll open a new window and it tells you, gives you some tips on notes to volunteers, tells you how to get your badges, it tells you the different activities that you're going to do and what you're going to need for each activity, and the purpose of the awards, how to get help from friends and family, and the suggested meeting length. Okay, so you can print this from here or you can download it. Okay, you have to get it from here. There is no other way to get it. Okay, if you go back to your your meeting plan, there's an activity plan. When you click on that, it gives you activity number 1, As Girls Arrive, activity 2, opening ceremony, all the way down, activity 3, 4 is the snack, 5 is closing ceremony. So all of the activities are going to be in the activity plan. Makes sense. Materials list is all of the materials that you will need to carry out the meeting. So it's a daisy petal, so you have to have daisy petal for each girl, markers, crayons. Opening ceremony talks about the poster that you need, and each one of the activities has little pieces that you'll need to bring with you or have available. So it tells you in one place what all you need. So remember, all 3 of these must be printed out separately if you're going to print them out or save them. And I totally forgot to mention that the Volunteer Toolkit is only for troop leaders and assistant leaders. So if you are not a troop leader or an assistant leader, you are not going to have access to the Volunteer Toolkit. Only the troop leader and assistant leader. That's normally the very first thing I say, and for some reason I totally forgot. But anyway. Alright, so under Manage Communication, you can edit or send meeting reminder emails. So when you click on that, it automatically gives you a template to use. You can enter email addresses separated by semicolons here. You can click parents, caregivers, or not parents and caregivers. So if you only want it to go to girls, you can. Or if you want it to go to the parents and caregivers, you can as well. So the subject you can change. It automatically fills in the meeting date and time for the meeting. And then you can change all of this. You can change it to Girl Scout Troop, whatever, or Girls of Girl Scout Troop. And then the next meeting date, the location, which if you filled that in on the other page, then it'll automatically fill that in. I just didn't do it. And then the topic, and then you've got your note to the volunteers, all the prepare ahead stuff. If you're sending this to parents, you may not want to include all this. You may want to cut some of it out. But all of the meeting aids that were mentioned in the activity plan are attached. So when this email goes out, they will get it if you want them to. If not, then you can delete them out. And then you can add these in if you want to. They're not attached from the start. You actually have to click to add them in. And you can also click links to the volunteer training guide, which I need to update that because that is old. Yeah, all these are okay. So I'll have to know what I'm doing next week. I didn't even realize those were in here, but they are. So that's pretty cool. All right, I'll have to take care of that. And then all of your retail sales pins and patch order forms and stuff are in here. And the camping, get outdoors challenge, all that kind of stuff is in here if you want to attach that as well. There's a whole bunch of different documents that you can send if you want to send it out to them. Okay, and then you would of course just hit send email down at the bottom, and that will send an email to all of the members of your troop or just the volunteers. Alright, you can record attendance and achievements during your lesson plan. This one just shows you who attended and what achievements were earned, but nobody's attended yet, so it doesn't show anything. But anyway, you can do that once you get into the meeting. So here's the meeting aids, the daisy petal, flower petal, all that are right there. You can add meeting aids, so if there's something already in the system that you want to add into it, you can. You cannot, unfortunately, add in your own meeting aids. You would have to do it as a text document or something. Anyway, it gives you the agenda. It tells you all of the times and everything. You can change them in 5-minute increments. So instead of 5 minutes, you can change it to 10 minutes, but you have to do increments of 5. Or you can delete a section completely. And again, you can click and drag wherever you want the different aspects to be. And it automatically, if you adjust the time, it automatically should, yeah, there you go, automatically changes it down at the bottom. Okay, and you can also add agenda items. So if I wanted to add take a hike into this meeting, which I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's my promise, my faith, but anyway, you could if you wanted to. You can add an agenda item at the bottom. You can also add a note. So after the meeting, you can say, this lesson went really well. These girls had some problems focusing, but they're working on it, or something like that. So that is the meeting plan. And again, once you get all this filled out, you can print it. There is no download option on this one. You have to print it, and you can print it to a PDF. Alright, so let's go back to your plan. So we got your plan, meeting plan. So let's say that we are a multi-level troop. So let's switch over to my multi-level troop. Troop 888888888. Maybe one too many 8s there, but anyway. Alright, so it'll pop up. Click on my troop. You'll see all the troop information. Everybody who's in the troop, there's a lot of staff in this because that's my staff demo troop. But we go to explore. Now this one is already set up as a custom year plan. So we can click view my year plan, and it will take us to a custom year plan that's already been set up for us. There's Eco Camper, Flowers, Geocacher, Product Designer, Eco Explorer. All of these are already in this custom year plan. So we have a multi-level troop. So let's say we want to add in, so this looks like these two are junior level. The rest of them don't say on the outside. Oh, seniors. So we've got juniors and seniors basically. So let's say we have a cadet coming in that we want to add into this plan. So we're going to click on add badge or journey. Yep, I can talk. And then we're going to go down to use our filters. We're going to go to cadet, and we're going to look for a badge or journey that a cadet can do. So let's look at the new badges that just came out. And we're going to click view list. So it gives us a choice of all of the new cadet badges that just came out. Designing robots, Eco Tracker 1, Echo Tracker, Echo. Night Owl 2, Primitive Camping, Programming Robots, Showcasing Robots, Take Action Outdoors, Trailblazing. So we have all of these different options that we could pick. I'm going to go ahead and select Trailblazing 1 and 2, and we're going to add that to our year plan. So now we have, at the very bottom here, we have these two specifically for our cadets that are in the group. Okay, so up at the top, we don't have our dates in here yet, so we're going to put Manage Calendar. And we're going to put our start date as today, and we're going to go weekly. So every week at 4 o'clock on today, Thursday. And we're going to here's where we can put our location and our Girl Scout and Volunteer Resource Center. And then you can put the address in. And then add, and that's going to automatically add that location to all of our events. And if we have, okay. So everything should be okay. I can't select a date in the past. Oh, because 4 o'clock's already been here, hasn't it? So we'll do it tomorrow. Alright, so that gives us our custom year plan with our dates starting tomorrow and every week up until our last one, which is June 7th. So we have Trailblazing 1 and 2. Let's say we want to move those up before or in between our eco campers. So we're going to do Trailblazing 1 and 2. So again, we just pick them up and move them wherever we want to, and it automatically readjusts the calendar so that everything is in order. Okay, so that is what a custom year plan looks like. Now let's look at how we get a custom year plan. So if we go, let me go to another troop that doesn't have a year plan yet. Okay, so this one's good. So we're going to explore, go to the Explore tab, and if you want to start over with a new year plan, use the choices below. It will automatically delete any customization that you've already put into it, so be careful with that. Make sure you choose what direction you're going to go before you start. Otherwise, you're going to wipe out everything that you've done already. Oh, hi Brandy. See you in a little bit, I guess, because you're coming back. Hey AJ. Okay, so we're going to go to select your own, because we're going to customize our own year plan for a troop because we have several different levels together. So we're going to do start adding pedals, badges, or journeys. And again, it reminds you any customizations you made will be lost. And I'm okay with that, so yes. And then it gives me the option to find what I'm looking for. I can take a guided tour and it could walk me through how to do this, but I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to go to use filters. You could search for it if you knew exactly, like Trailblazing. You could search that way. but I want to look at everything. So I want everything for daisies. You can only do one at a time, which I would imagine they're working on making that multi-select, but for now you have to do one at a time. So I'm going to add my cadets, the badges, and I know it's a new badge this year. It would also probably be in the outdoor badge, but we're going to click on badges for 2018-19. Click view, and there's all those ones that we just looked at before. I'm going to select my 2 trailblazing and add to year plan. Okay, so now I have 2 custom meetings into my year plan. Now I'm going to add, that's our cadets, so let's look at our seniors. We want to add in a badge for seniors. Again, we're going to go back to our year plan. We're going to click on add badge or journey. And then we're going to use a filter for senior and badges pedals. And we're going to look at the new badges for them as well. And they're fairly new, so we're going to go with Adventure Camper 1 and 2. And we're going to add to our year plan. Alright, so now we have 4 meetings, 2 at the junior level and 2 for the cadet level. Wrong other way. Cadets first and then juniors. And then we're going to add in 2 more for our seniors. Or did we just do seniors? We just did seniors. Ambassadors, yeah. Badges for ambassadors, and they're going to work on STEM, so we're going to pick STEM. And they're going to do showcasing robots. And add to your plan. Alright, so we've got 3 different levels all working on the same meeting plan. Again, you know, one of the problems with multi-level troops is, and the VTK, is that you either have to have multiple meetings to cover each grade, like 1 for the seniors, 1 for the ambassadors, 1 for the cadets, or you just all work on the same material, and it only, you know, if they're in the right grade level, they can get the trailblazing, but if not, they just work through it at the same time that the rest of them are. The other option would be to go in and change the dates on, you know, like have this actually be, you know, you could change this one to a different or the same time and make it so that both of these are at the exact same time. And if you've got, assuming you've got enough leadership to do that, you can do that. But, you know, that's just one of the challenges of a multi-level troop is, you know, this is really not laid out. It's not designed for a multi-level troop. You have to do a little finagling, you know, one way or another. You either have to do everybody through one plan, or you come up with a plan that has different dates on it. Either way. The option I would prefer is that if I had a multi-level troop, all of my juniors would be one troop number, all of my cadets would be another troop number, and then it's as easy as going into this drop down, and I would have troop 11111 cadets and 11111 senior. They'd have different numbers, of course, but that way you could keep them separate and they could each have their own individualized year plan. So that is the year plan. I don't see any questions, so we'll move on to resources. And apparently we moved on to my troop tab. I don't know why. I guess I clicked it. Alright, so on the resources tab, okay, this is slightly redesigned from the last training that we had this time last year. It looked a little bit similar, but it wasn't broken out quite the same. There was a search bar and you could search and maybe you could find what you wanted, maybe not. This is very much laid out as you would look for it. So if you're a Daisy leader, you're going to click on Daisy, and there's 6 right at the top that are specifically designed for daisies. and then each one of these down here is all the way across the board. So no matter what you click on up here, oh, maybe not. Oh yeah, it just moves it down because of that. Okay, scared me a little bit. Okay, so each one of these changes the links up here at the top, but the bottom stays the same. So you have your grade level resources up here at the top, and then you have the troop resources down here at the bottom. And these, what's on here now is from GSUSA. We haven't updated council resources, but we can update in each one of these categories. We can put a few documents and links to other links for you guys. So we'll be doing that in the near future as things get freed up a little bit. That's one of my projects. So resources, there's all kinds of stuff in here. The Badge Explorer, if you can't find that on the internet, you can click on that and it takes you right to it, straight from the VTK. So you can see the requirements for each one of these. You can get it, and it takes you to the Girl Scout shop, and it tells you that the whole set is $8.50. So it's pretty handy to have that right there as you're planning your year. You don't even have to go out of it. It just opens up in a new window, and you can do whatever you need to do with it. Alright, so that's the resources. Uniform placement is a thing that everybody always asks about, and it's right here. You can find it. Training links, we're going to be putting up some new training links. The awards and traditions, and the camper outdoors, all that kind of stuff is down here. So that's the resources tab. And the last tab that we're going to talk about tonight is the finances tab. Okay, and this will become important to you guys come the end of May, beginning of June. You will have to submit to council your end of the year report, your finance report, by June 30th. That is the deadline to get qualified for Super Troop, to renew your position. All of that stuff will be June 30th. So you can do it two ways. You can do it through the Volunteer ToolKit, which I'm about to show you, and then there's a web form that you can do on the website. And there's also a third way, which I don't recommend because you have to print out the paper, fill out the paper, mail in the paper. We have to open the paper, enter the paper into the same form that you downloaded it from, and yeah, so it's a big long mess that delays everything. If you just fill it out online, it's a whole lot easier. It makes everybody's life easier. So this is, and also if you've seen the troop transaction spreadsheet that is also on the volunteer resources page, that is a great resource because it will literally walk you through step by step of how to fill out this document. And once you have that document, the troop transaction spreadsheet filled out, then it's a piece of cake to paste the numbers into here. So anything you put into this form, this is the finance tab, anything you put on here is not submitted to council until you tell it to be submitted to council. Okay, so once a year, you're going to submit it to council. You know, we don't want it on October or November 1st. Okay, we want it at the end of the year. The rest of the time, this is like your checkbook register. Okay, you have to, and you actually have to update it. So if you spend $5 this month, and next month you spend $10, then you would enter 5 for this month and then 10 for next month. Okay, it does not add it up. You have to update it. This is more like a snapshot. It just shows you what is currently going on in your finance report. It does not, you don't enter the transaction and it subtracts from it like the troop transaction spreadsheet does. This is very much just a picture of what the budget is, or the account is right this second. Okay, so you would enter your previous balance, all that kind of stuff. And these are all expenses that your troop has. You know, well, this is income, but what income do you have? What did you collect registration fees? Even if you paid them out, it still comes into your troop, so you have to account for them. Insignia, recognition, badges, all that kind of stuff goes in that one. Each one of these categories on the troop transaction spreadsheet has a little description with it. So if you're not sure about what each one of them is, you can check out that troop transaction spreadsheet, which let me open that up for you. On the website, if you go to Volunteer and then Volunteer Resources, and then down to Troop Transaction Spreadsheet, there's a little link right here, and that'll open an Excel file. If you have Open Office or Numbers on a Mac, you'll be able to open it through that. Or if you have Excel, then you can open it. All right, so you fill in your income, and it does total up your income for you. And then if you have any notes, you can add a note about why you have certain income or whatever. And then you do the same thing for expenses. Now remember that you can have multiple people working on this document at one time. So it does tell you the last update. Like this one hasn't been updated, so there isn't one. But there will be a little date up here that'll tell you that it was updated yesterday or updated the day before. It does not tell you who updated it, because remember that anybody, the troop leader or the assistant leaders, any one of them can update information. So you might want to make sure and have a discussion about who's putting the finances into the finance tab and who can change them and who can just look at them. Okay, so these are all your expenses. And then it totals up everything down here at the bottom. You can put a note if you want to. And this is just a reminder that parents will see the troop income, expenses, and financial summary field. So they will see all the total expenses, total income, and they will see this little field here with the ending balance. So parents will be able to know what the state the troop is in. They do not see anything that is below this line. These are council related and bank account related fields. We need your bank information so that when we direct deposit, like for example Super Troop, or not Super Troop, but the spring renewal incentive this year was a $25 refund, and that got direct deposited into your account if we had it on file. And it also lets us know the signers on the checking account, the status of the troop. There's not a whole lot of questions on here, but it just lets us know where your troop is right now and if they're coming back, who you've got coming back for the next year. And a big part of this is the community service. Like we need to know what your troop has been doing. A lot of the grants that we get come from the hours of community service that are done. And make sure you note that there is a link here at the bottom. You must fill this out by clicking on that link. If you don't fill that out, we will track you down and make you fill that out. It's more questions about your bank account that were not specifically asked in this form. And there's also a response to customer care. If you've had a really great experience with customer care, or if you happen to have a really bad experience, let us know and we'll make sure to work on it. You can just click on that little plus and add your response, and it is required. So if you didn't have anything, then you can just say didn't really interact with them. And yeah. So then you can preview it, and if everything's good, then you can click submit and it will come to council. Okay, if you just fill in the information and then go out of this screen, then it will automatically save it for you when you come back. Okay, so if you click on year plan or something and go off of this, then when you come back it'll still be there. Should be. I've never actually done it though, so I don't know. You can see last year's. You can see what you submitted last year on this as well. This particular troop didn't, so they don't have the option, but you can do it if you did it last year. So, all right. so that is the finance report tab. I don't see any questions. If you have a question, type it in real quick, and if not, we are going to call it a night. We make sure we covered everything. We talked about the fact that the troop leaders and assistant leaders are the only ones that have access to the Volunteer ToolKit. We talked about going to the website, clicking on at bdgse.org, and clicking on mygs/VTK login. We talked about the My Troop tab, and that's where you update all of your information on your girls and adults. You can also add a new volunteer at this point. Then we talked about the Explore tab, where you can do a customize year plan or pre-selected year plan. And we talked about how multi-level troop would probably want to use the select your own. And then we talked about the year plan and how you can drag and drop the meetings. You can print them. You can also see the past years. That's something we didn't cover. You can see what you did last year in the Volunteer Toolkit as well. And then we added badges and journeys and added activities. And then we looked at meeting plans. And here we go. We looked at the different descriptions and the badges. We looked at the 3 planning materials that you need to print out separately and save separately if you need them. And then we talked about communications, recording attendance, the meeting aids, the agenda, how you can drag and drop them as well, and you can change the time, and you can delete. Yes, I'm sure I want to delete. Okay. And then you can add agenda items also. And then we covered the resources. We talked about grade levels and troops in general. And make sure you check out the safety activity checkpoints, because we're coming up on spring and summer. So make sure that everything you're doing is kosher. And then we've covered the finance tab and talked about making sure that everybody knows who the person is that's going to be submitting the end of the year report in time for the deadline, which is June 30th. And I think that's about it. Okay. So that is, and we talked about the drop down, and if you're leading multiple troops, you can pick which troop you want to deal with. So if there's no other questions, we're going to call it a night, and you guys have a good evening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.